Welcome, everybody. It is me. It is the Cyber Warrior. This is CyberWarriorStudios, and I know you are all here for another amazing episode of Security Happy Hour. And before we get started, I just want to say Happy Freya's Day. Skull to all of my family out there. I hope you had an amazing Friday, and I hope you enjoy your weekend. But I got to say, it's going to be an amazing show, because this show is near and dear to my heart. All right? It's a topic that I've talked about a lot. I will continue to talk about in the future, but today we're going to talk about it again. So I'll be back in just a second. Now that my moonshine's almost gone, I got to go to beer. But saying that, look, hey, I'm happy to have you here. And look, I'm going to try it again. And we tried this before the show. Mwanawa. Yes. All right.
Perfect.
Mwanawa Tarver.
Thank you. That's perfect.
Joining us. and actually, this topic, we're talking about knowing your why, finding your why, basically having a purpose in life to do what you want to do.
Okay.
So before we get started with all that, Mwanawa, why don't you give us a little rundown on who you are and kind of why this topic is important to you?
Okay, well, as he introduced me, I'm Mwanawa. I am brand new to cybersecurity. I have been doing this a little less than a year. Still looking for my first official position. Still waiting for my yes. But I absolutely am just smitten with cybersecurity. Everything about it, even the stuff that everybody says is boring and doesn't want to do logs and all that stuff. I'm like, this is fascinating. So part of, the short version of my why is what got me into cybersecurity was a series of breaches that were things that everything that I had that could be hacked got hacked. Bank accounts had people take out car loans, buy a house in my name.
Damn.
Cyber stalkers. I had deep fakes. I had the whole mess, and I was like, you know what? One, this isn't going to happen to me again. And two, I wanted other people to, wanted to be able to show other people and teach other people how easily this can happen. Because these weren't people that this didn't happen. It wasn't a bunch of, fellas in the Guy Fawkes masks and the hoodies that got me. No, it was people that I knew. And how easily this can happen with just a little of your information, and how easy it is to avoid it. I mean, it's, there's sometimes some things you're not going to be able to avoid. If somebody really just wants to get in, they're going to get in there. But there are things that you can do to keep yourself from just getting, you don't have to hand them the keys.
Right.
And so that was my biggest why is really more for other people who might be in vulnerable populations, young kids who don't know any different, people, you hear about teenage girls getting online and getting in all this trouble because the wrong pictures go to the wrong person, or just all kinds of, you just fill in the blank with the nefarious plot of your choice. For things like that to not have to happen, and then for people to, when it does happen, not feel like, hey, I'm not going to say anything to anybody about this. I'm just going to brush it under the rug and we'll just pretend it's going to go away. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're going to fight this. So that's that's the short edge of my why.
And that's crazy because, one of the things you touched on, and we'll get more into your story and what happened to you, but with 5 boys of my own, kids are very important to me. And I've seen what's happened to some others out there. I've heard the horror stories and things of that nature. And you never want to blame the child, right? Because it comes down to a lot of their upbringing, how they're taught. I put a lot of blame on parents. Unfortunately, at the same time, when you have 2 working parents, it is very hard to keep track of everything your kids are doing.
All the time. Yeah.
And so if you're not a parent that is in cybersecurity or networking or IT that can monitor or knows how to monitor this stuff, then you're basically, you hear enough of, oh yeah, it's safe. They can talk to their friends. They can go on Snapchat and all this.
Right.
Yeah, it's fine. My kids know better. And you end up having these issues because you can't monitor, or you don't want to pry in their information. And so now they're doing whatever. And then you have daughters and sisters.
And it's not always your kid. It's it might be somebody else's kid that is starting to mess with your kid. Your kid might know everything not to do, but you just never know.
Exactly. And so yeah, I put a lot of that on parents, even myself. I've had to correct my kids on a few occasions because I'll see what's going on and I'm like, oh no. Give it all to me. This don't fly. This is not allowed. Not in my house. You will not be an asshole. It does not exist.
No.
And so I've had to straighten out my own kids. Like, you hope they're doing better, but I'm not naive enough to think my kids are perfect. No, right. I'm going to check up on them and be like, hey, what's this, homie?
What this?
Exactly. Yeah.
So the way it happened was no.
Yeah, right. When it's the moment you hear what happened, nope, that's not a good answer. But yeah, so that's very important to me. And kids have always been near and dear to me because of that. Right. My parents have 14 grandkids. So out of my 5 kids, the other 9 are nieces and nephews. So anything to do with kids is absolutely important to me. Right. Even with my buddies coming up in the military, like, they had daughters that I'd look at my buddy like, hey, when am I showing up with a gun and we're just going to stand on the front porch?
Right. That's all you got to do.
It's already happening. I'm like, she's 12. What do you mean it's already happening?
I mean, I don't have daughters.
Me neither.
But I've been a daughter.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yep. So, kids have always been near and dear for me. So like, that's why I've talked to high school kids and I basically try to scare them into doing the right thing. I'm not going to lie, because I've sat there and they've asked me, what about VPNs and what about this? And I'm talking kids that freaking 12, 13 years old talking about security measures that I'm like, man,
how do you even know about this?
Talking about this? Right. And so they're like, hey, if I do this, this, and this, can I, I'm like, look, I don't care what you use. I can find out about it.
Right.
And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah. All your parents do is call me and I can find everything on your phone or computer. And they're like, what? Yeah. I don't care what you do. I'm going to find it. And they're like, yeah. Yeah. I'm like, all I need is access. As soon as I get access, I have everything. And that's when they're like, oh shit. Like,
it's not even worth it. It's not even worth it.
So I can't get away with whatever? No. Go ahead and use private browser mode. Guess what? Your computer still downloaded every single picture that you looked at.
That doesn't help. Yeah.
And they're like, oh, damn. I'm like, oh, yeah. So yeah, like the whole thing with kids, like I try to scare them into like not doing something stupid, because I know that's kind of what they're getting at. And when kids think they can be anonymous, then they become bullies.
Then they're more likely to do some. That's not even kids. That's people.
Oh, that's people in general. Come on, how many SOC accounts are out there that you got people like Corgi just burning down?
It's like, I'm not going to get caught. They don't know it's me. No.
Corgi's just going out there like, yeah, this is this person. This is this person. This is this person. I can't tell you how many people have gone out there and just burned SOC accounts. It's hilarious. But the funny thing is, and then the other premise of the show, of course, the main premise is knowing your why. And there's a reason that's near and dear to me, and that's because I talk a lot about purpose and knowing your why. Because if your why isn't strong enough, then the first obstacle you face, you're going to bail.
Yep.
You're going to quit. You're going to give up, and you're going to say, I can't do this. I failed this test. I'm not doing it no more. I'm out. See you later. I'm not smart enough.
Absolutely.
Instead of pushing through and continuing to learn. And so knowing you're in your first year of this journey is kind of amazing, because I've actually had your LinkedIn profile pulled up, and just kind of the things you're trying to get into and doing. You're a lot like me in that you just want to learn a little bit of everything. You're like,
I'm everywhere right now. I mean, I have the focus. I know what I want. I have my long view, But right now it's like soap bubbles. Oh, this is neat. Oh, this is neat too. Oh, that's neat over there. And I know that that's not sustainable. I can't be, blue
Right.
team, red team, purple team, GRC. I can't, run the printer and
You
the
can
fact check with all of
try,
this
but it fails
and not
miserably.
burn myself down to the nub. So I'm not trying to do that. But right now it's kind of
It's good though to have that overview, and then you really can drill into your passion.
right.
You can drill into what really matters to you. And I was the type that I liked the offensive side for a long time, and I still do. I like the offensive side. I don't like the paperwork. I hate writing reports, but I like breaking into shit. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But it's I also love the blue team. I was a sim engineer for a year and a half,
Okay.
and I love doing that. Like being able to threat hunt and actually help people figure out where their problems were and where these alerts were coming from and whether it was valid or invalid, know.
Right.
So things like that I had fun with. And even now being a consultant, being able to tell people, hey, your security's fucked up. Like that's always fun too. I mean, I'm not allowed to say it in that way, but
Yeah, but you could get pretty close.
Oh, yeah. There's a professional way to say you're a fucking idiot. There's a really professional way to say it. But this is my show, and I don't care.
So you can say whatever you feel like.
So for you, how important was it with that why? Because you had already had a career before you came into cybersecurity and started making that transition.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, your why being all these breaches and what had happened to you, do you foresee you taking a financial hit initially to come up in this new career field in order to basically have that purpose in your life? Because financially, yes, sometimes when you transfer careers, you're going to take a hit, but you have more purpose in your life and you have more passion for what you're doing.
Right. I mean, quite possibly. To be honest, the last thing I was doing was being an office manager, and I could be on a bad day as a cybersecurity analyst, make a better living than as an office manager.
Right.
Unless I'm, managing IBM or something like that, and that's not. No, I'm not. No, I don't want to do that. Just no. So I mean, yeah, that is a possibility, but that's not really even something that bothers me right now for a couple reasons. Like I said, I know this is something that I'm going to stick with. I know something I feel passionate about. I know it's something that makes more of a difference than what I was doing before. And also I know that I can get real good at it because I don't run across things that I'm bad at too often.
You and me both.
Yeah, I know, isn't it weird?
It's very rare. Art, I'm bad at. I'll be honest with that. Art,
I'm not even bad at art. I got some paintings back here.
I let my son do all the art. Shit. No, but, not me.
It's I know that, there is the potential for growth is huge. And even with everybody getting kind of scared and kind of feathers ruffled right now with the layoffs and everything like that, it's still a field that it's not going anywhere because it's too big for the bad guys.
Right.
They're just, exponentially every day. It's just like, oh my goodness. And we're always going, even if it seems like a losing battle, it's always going to be necessary. We can't just one day say, we're just going to let them just run over everything. It's fine.
I don't know. Sometimes I'm kind of like in that mood. I look at the way society and the country is. And I'm just like, fuck it, burn it.
Just let it burn.
Just go. We'll start over from scratch. We'll figure that shit out. Just let it go.
No, we tried that. It didn't work out. 2.0 was much worse. So to answer your question, yeah, I have thought about that, but it's not really something that bothers me because I don't feel like it's going to be something that's lasting. I don't see 10 years from now to be making the same thing I make now. I don't even see that happening.
If you are, me and you need to have a talk.
Yes, you are allowed to smack me with that stick right there.
Oh yeah, it'll come.
Doing something wrong.
I will hunt you down and beat you until you start asking for more money. I will do it.
There's no excuse for that. If that was the case, that would be.
That's part of the problem, though. I have found with people is they're afraid to ask for more money.
I don't understand that, but okay.
Me neither, because it's like, look, you've been there for a year or two. Tell them you need a fucking raise. Oh, well, I got 3%. Okay, then go find a company that's going to pay you 20 grand more a year, because there's no, that 3 to 5% at a lot of cyber companies does not fly. They will pay you an extra 10, 15 grand a year.
3% is like, that's not even sales tax. What is that? Doesn't help anything.
That ain't even cost of living anymore. Let's be honest.
No.
So like, people aren't fighting for their money. And so when companies are giving them these annual raises, and a lot of your larger organizations they still stick in this like 3 to 5% range every year.
Right.
Fuck that. Go find another job and get paid more.
Well, some people are just so, I mean, especially now, but before, a lot of people are just kind of timid about asking for things anyway. But now it's like, okay, I don't want to bring any attention to myself and ask for a raise because they might just get rid of me altogether. Now, I don't know if that has to do with the people that are not doing their jobs or just don't feel like they're doing it. I don't know what the reason is for that. But I mean, if you are doing your job, you need to get paid for the work that you put in. You need to be compensated for the value that you bring to that organization.
Yep. And that's one of the things we look at, and when I talk to a lot of people that are trying to get in the field, look, don't get it twisted, man. Everybody immediately thinks they're going to make six figures jumping into cybersecurity.
Right. And that's not necessarily so. And that's a lot of people are always like, oh my goodness, can you get me a job? I'm like, I don't even have a job doing it yet. They're thinking I'm going to be making next week, I'm going to be making $200,000 a year. That would be great.
Shit, I ain't even making $200,000.
That would be amazing. I don't know how I can make that happen. Not likely. But
Natalie says it here, right? So always investigate your fair market
value, right?
And then we had William Bailey. 3% wasn't even a cost of living last year. Firm told me that most people got 2%.
That's ugly.
So it's one of those things where you look at this and it's like you have to go for know your worth, know your value.
Right.
And again, when we talk about entry level or junior analysts and things like that, look, there's two things you need to consider. A, the location you're at.
Yes.
If you're applying to a local location for you, a lot of times you're going to make local value. So if you're in a low cost of living area where the median salary is like 30 grand a year, 60 to 70 grand a year entry level is pretty damn good.
It's a lot. Now, that's that. And that's kind of, I'm in Atlanta. And it's not, I don't really know if we consider high or low because there are much, much higher places. It's not like California or Colorado or anywhere like that. But you can, I think, like fair market value right now for an intro SOC analyst is about 85.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which sounds beautiful to me.
Oh, right. But people are like, oh, I'll make six figures. Yeah. Over time, it's a lot easier to get to six figures in cyber.
Right.
But as a junior just breaking in, I'm not saying it's impossible.
Right.
I'm just saying don't think it's going to happen right away. Don't turn down a job because they offered you fair market value and you're like, oh, no, I want 110.
No, I'm not a fool. No.
Like that, when people do that,
that's just a lot of people have, and that is, I've been talking to different people, mostly, I don't see this a lot on LinkedIn, but a lot of it's on Facebook, which Facebook just has all kinds of problems, and this is one of them. People get on there, people get on there to brag a lot, and so they're just like, well, such and such and such. I just got a job say a SOC analyst job. I have no certs. I have no certs. I have no degree, no experience. I'm making $120,000 a year. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Well, they might be, but again, where are they located at? Because if you're in California making 120, you might as well be making 30 grand in PA. Just saying. True. A one-bedroom apartment in California in like Hollywood's going to cost you like $3 grand a month. True. So let's be honest here. And so when I look at these things and people say these numbers, nobody ever takes into account where they're located. Yeah. And this is why I refuse to work for Google. Google came to B-Sides Pittsburgh and we had a conversation. And I said, I want to work a security job. He said, cool. He said, we now have remote jobs. You can live here and work out of, the Cali office. I said, cool, you're going to pay me Cali salary.
Right.
He said,
He said
nope.
no.
I said, then no.
No.
I said, no, because if I lived in Cali, you'd pay me that
You pay
salary so
me
that I could
the
afford it.
salary of where I work.
Which
You
means if I lived there, then it wouldn't be no different. I live here, you're going to pay me that salary. He said, nope. I said, then no, I won't work.
No,
I know if I lived there, you'd pay me the same. If you're hurting for people and you're looking,
you'd have to, but you can't.
You'd pay me $300,000-$400,000 a year because of the cost of living there. If you're not willing to do that, then no, we're not playing that game.
Yeah. And they don't expect, they probably don't expect people to say no to them. They're Google or they're offering X amount of money.
I refuse to work for those big tech companies because that's how they operate.
I have no desire to, and I don't know if that's something that is like you're not supposed to say that as a newbie or what, but that never.
I tell a lot of new people, try to find those small to mid-sized businesses because A, you're more considered a person and not a number, and B, there's a lot more opportunity for growth, training, and just getting your hands on everything.
Right.
Whereas when you're in these big companies, you're kind of siloed, right?
Yeah, this is your job, and this is going to be your job, and don't be over here trying to do this because that's going to throw things off, and don't be over here trying to do that because it's going to throw things off. Yeah, that's never been. I was never interested in Google's or.
And Natalie even said work-life balance doesn't exist in those big companies. Oh, you are so right. Work-life balance goes out the work-life balance.
No, work is your life. There's
there's
no balance. It's like
that's why Google has like a nursery and a daycare and your food and everything.
Right. That's why
like, you ain't allowed to leave, homie.
You can't leave. You don't get to leave. So it's like, yeah, okay. You got your dry cleaning here. You got your restaurant. You got your daycare. Got your grocery store. you cannot leave.
So I look at it, and that's why I also say know your why, because if your why is money, then yes, don't get it twisted. FANG, big tech, all of them are going to pay you the most.
Right.
Sometimes you can get decent pay when you work remotely. Sometimes you can't. It really depends. But the small to mid-size is going to give you, it's going to fulfill that passion in you. It's going to fulfill that need to, that hunger and that growth. And so that's what I look at. That's why anytime I've interviewed people, I look at kind of how they answer questions and where their passion lies. If they're willing to say, I don't know, but I can find an answer. I know how to find the answer. I have the ability to learn and grow and do all these things.
Right.
Like that's the type of information I look for versus somebody that just comes in thinking they know it all or they're just trying to bullshit me. Because if you're just trying to bullshit me, like
that doesn't go over well in any circumstance, and that's insulting to me. It's like you don't think that I'm savvy enough to know that you're just making this up.
Right. Or like you're reading a screen. And that's why I hate those standard questions that people ask. Like when you have like, oh, what are these sports? What's this? What's that? Somebody can have a fucking cheat sheet up in front of them where they're just reading down a screen. I love scenario based because then you don't have a cheat sheet. You legitimately better know at least part of that, like how part of that scenario would play out.
Right.
So that I can get a feel for what you actually know that's ingrained. And when you stumble and you can say, oh, wait, hold up. I would have to, I'd have to look this part up because I don't really know how I would implement or do this or how this works. So I'd have to look that up, but I'm confident on these parts and this is what I would do. That I'm happy with.
It's the thought process too, because nobody in every single scenario, in every situation is going to be able to just go, we do A, then B, then C, then D. I mean, that's rare because each situation is different. So there's going to be people want to see the actual thought process that you're going through, not just that you can rattle off a whole bunch of facts and figures and whatnot like that. I am a good one for this, and one of my cohorts from Full Stack here, Jerry Stallworth, he can tell you.
Yeah, I see him in the chat. He actually just said, I work for a small private college and I'm able to get my hands on everything. Networking, InfoSec, help desk, and break fix.
Yep. He can tell you, I am not afraid to say, I don't know. Right. And I'm not afraid to ask a question. I was that person that was like, that doesn't make sense. We got to stop this for a second. Can we make this a little clearer? So, there's no benefit to just, pretending like, don't learn anything.
No. And again, this comes back to, this is any industry also. Like this is security happy hour. So yes, we're going to primarily focus on cybersecurity, but I beg of you, share this with everybody, because the reason is knowing your why and having your purpose in life goes for everything. Whether you're trying to be a lawyer, well, why do you want to be a lawyer? Again, if things are just to make money, if money is your driving factor, I am not going to say it is a bad way to go. I'm just going to say you're never going to be happy, because you're constantly going to be moving. You're constantly going to be trying to find your next fix. It's like a drug.
And
like
never going to be
it's
enough
never
money.
enough.
Yeah.
Whereas if you find something you're truly passionate about in your heart that means a lot to you, like defending the good guy that or the wrongly accused, or being a doctor and fixing somebody, curing cancer, or being a teacher and helping the kids, or being in cybersecurity and helping clients, whatever the case may be, if you have that passion, if you have that within you, then it makes the learning journey a hell of a lot easier. And it means you won't give up. You will constantly fight through every obstacle and barrier because you have that strong why.
Right.
I'm sorry. In my eyes, money is never enough, because if that's the case, you're going to jump from job to job. Eventually, nobody's going to want to hire you. And on top of that, the ability to learn gets a hell of a lot harder, because you really don't give a fuck what you're learning.
Yes, there are many days when I'm studying right now. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm doing it. I am studying to pass the CISA. And there are days when if it was just money that was driving me, I would have hucked that book out the window, because I'm here like, what does this mean?
Oh, I have read books like this. Some of those books are so fucking dry.
Why?
And you just read them going, oh my God, I don't fucking know.
I don't understand at all. And I wouldn't put myself through that if it was no. I mean, that's just an example. I'm sure there's worse.
Look, I'm that way with encryption. I've Security Plus, my CISP, probably some of my SAN certs. We've gone over encryption, asymmetric, symmetric, and all the different things. And every time I literally memorize it for the test and then forget about it, because I'm just like, I don't fucking know. I just want to pass. I need it for the test. I don't ever want to deal with encryption, please.
It's a little confusing. It's already a little confusing. I'm just like, okay, symmetric, asymmetric. This sounds like it would be asymmetric, but it's not. I'm just, oh goodness gracious.
Right. That's encrypt. Look, I know people that live and die by encryption.
It sounds fascinating, but it just sounds fascinating. May the gods
pass every blessing on to them, because that is something I cannot do. I cannot do encryption for the life of me. I know how to go to cyberchef.io.
There you go.
Send whatever is encrypted into there.
Yes, and it will tell me.
Fucking magic, Tony. Figure it out.
That magic. We learned the value of the magic button during school too. It's like, how did you do it, magic?
Right?
Magic.
Was it the only one I have like an inkling on is base 64. And that's because 9 times out of 10, it ends in like equals or something like that. And so that one, I'll throw through like a base 64 decode.
Right.
And then if I get nothing still, that's when I'm like, fuck it, use magic. Well,
that's the end of what I know. Let's just. That's funny.
Yep. We got Griffin.
That's
Griffin's my boy.
Thing. If everybody's thing was all the same thing, that wouldn't work out.
Well, and that's the thing. So we've got a few more here. Look, we got Andrea. Look, anybody who doesn't know, Andrea, who is currently in the YouTube chat, will be on the show coming up. I think it's in like a week or two. I forget. I got to look at the dates. But I got Andrea coming on. I've got some other people coming. I've got like my next 5 dates booked. I didn't even look at all the names. Lauren Campanera, I believe is her name. She's coming on. Unless she has to reschedule. She might have something come up. But yeah, tons of people. So finally, I actually have dates booked out. So I'm not like hurting looking for people like, shit, I need someone this week.
Last week it sounded like you were a little dire there.
Oh, I was last week, man. Well, when I came into this new year, I was like doing good. I was like doing big things, doing good to the end of December. This new year came up and I was like, all right, I'm doing all these videos. I'm gonna like get into it hot. I'm gonna do all this shit. And then I looked at my dates and I was like, I got no one booked. Fuck. People
minds hadn't woken up from the holiday and from all the stuff. It takes that first week for people to realize what's going on. Well,
and the other problem is, and I had this conversation last week, is new people like you, like I love having you on here. I'm gonna love having Andrea on, and there's been so many others recently that are newer to the field or like just trying to break in. My friend Misha was on last year near the end, and she's trying to get into the field, transitioning over from pharmacy, and but it's been so hard getting new people on, and that's my target for this show is the newer audience or the newer people to industry because they deserve a voice. They deserve to be heard, and they deserve to like get their thoughts, their opinions, what they feel about the industry and what they feel about everything else out there. And so for me, when new people are afraid to come on because they feel like, oh, I don't have anything to share.
I don't have anything to say. I don't have the experience. I don't know. You do. You know what you know, and that's valuable. You know, and then some of it is, you know, you're not new to everything. You had a career, you had a life before cybersecurity, so you can, you know, that is experience right there that you can pull from
the transferable
and
skills
add it to, you know, add it to the pot, you know.
Yep. And if I didn't want, if I thought you had nothing to add, I wouldn't ask for new and people trying to break in to be on the field or on the show. And that's the thing is, I know you do, so that's why I want you on here.
Right.
Look, I love all the other podcasts out there. I do Hacker Valley Studio and all of Hacker Valley Media, Gerald Auger and everything that everybody else is doing. But a lot of times they concentrate on the veterans, the people that have been around for a while, the people that have been doing this shit for a while. They have tons of advice, tons of things to put out about the field. I got you. I care about who needs to be heard. What are the voices we don't hear?
Right.
And that's where you come in. That's where Matt Marks comes in, Griffin Infosec, and Andrea and Natalie, who's been on here, and you know, everybody else that's been on the show that is newer to the field.
Right.
And that's what I care about. And so that's why I'm like, hey, if you're new, fucking hey, homie, right here. This is where you will make a name for yourself.
And I appreciate
you apply for a job, you can say, hey, yep, I was already on a fucking show, bitch.
Already. I told everybody, I'm like, I'm going to be on a show. Well, how did you, my dad said, how did you swing that?
That's when you look at him and go, because I'm the shit. I got game, bitch.
I got all kinds of game. I don't think I'd call me dead bitch. He probably wouldn't like that. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'll leave that out.
All right, leave that out. But yeah, so no, I do. I love it because knowing your why, that's why you're here, right? It's all about I want to find my first role. I want to find my place because I belong. Because this is something that means a lot to me. And I think that goes for everybody. If your why is there, then why say no? Why not put your name out there? Why not make a voice for yourself and let people know who you are? If your why is strong enough, nothing will stop you.
I agree. You know, and I went back and forth. I'm like, do I even? Because I kind of had that minute where I'm like, I'm not going to sign up for this because now that I don't have anything to say, I never run out of stuff to say. But then I'm like, okay, what benefit could I add to the conversation? I've only been doing this for such and such amount of time, and just the whole thing that, you know, new people go through, and I'm like, okay, why am I doubting myself? I can't. This is not one thing I'm learning is this is not a doubt yourself field.
Nope.
You can't come in.
I mean, it happens. We all do it.
Well, no, I'm not saying you never doubt yourself, but you can't go around. You can't be, well, I think that maybe. No. No. And so that, you know, and being, you know, also being female, you know, I got to speak up. It's a boys club. And, you know, if you can't, you know, I don't say not talk like the boys because that doesn't work.
You can do that too. That works. Look, hey, you want to get people on your side? I ain't gonna lie. Go ahead and do it. Say everything they say, and then tell them to kiss my ass, Scarface. Yeah. Go ahead and do it.
But, you know, you have to be able to hang with the big dogs, I guess, as they say, or stay off the porch. And so, you know, I said, let me get on here and let me say whatever I have to say. And if it makes sense, it makes sense. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't. But I've gotten my face out there. I've gotten a message out there. I've letting people know, yes, this is I'm in this arena. I am officially here.
Mm-hmm. And that's the point, right? You're here and you're here to stay and you're not going anywhere. And that's the big thing for me is I'm tired of the excuses from people of, oh, well, they might say no, or I'm not going to apply because of this, or this, that, and the third. Look, one, I've told people, if anybody has ever looked at any one of my posts, I don't say no. I tell you, DM me, I'll send you the link, sign the fuck up. We're doing this shit, homie. Let's go. There is no no. And so when people say that, I'm like, look, you're already eliminating yourself. You're already removing yourself from that opportunity, that job, that show, that podcast, that whatever. You're already self-eliminating. You're fucking doing it.
Right.
And the moment that stops, that moment you get that confidence to say, you know what, fuck it, I'm here. I belong. I deserve to be here.
Right.
That's the moment people will listen.
Right.
But every time you act meek and act like you don't belong and start to doubt yourself is when people quit listening to you.
If you're not sure about you, how can I be sure about you? It's like you don't even know about you.
Yep.
I'm not gonna listen to you. You don't listen to you.
Exactly. And that's why I tell people all the time. And KevTech said it earlier today on LinkedIn. You have to believe in yourself. I've said that shit. Everybody else see my fucking videos. I say that shit almost every day. Believe in you, because everything in life comes down to you. There is nothing in your life that anybody can stop you from if you believe in yourself, believe in your mission, and you want to accomplish it. But the moment you don't believe in you, then it doesn't matter what the hell I tell you. I could tell you you're intelligent, you're smart, you know your shit, you know all these things, and you're still going to look at me and be like, no, I don't.
No, I don't.
No, you're lying. I'm like, so that's why I say it comes down to you first. That's just like anything else in life, whether it's how you feel about yourself, how you look, your whatever, you name it, it comes down to you first.
Right.
The moment you believe and you love yourself and you believe in yourself is the moment that other people's words then start making a difference.
Yes. But it sounds so simplistic, and it sounds like, I don't say not the word hokey, but it sounds like, but it really is true. It really, it is absolutely true. If you, like I said, if I said it before, if you aren't going to be able to listen to you and you don't believe in you, what reason do I have to?
Yeah.
You're probably going to convince me, well, I thought they were smart. And no, I'm not. You're really not. And now you've convinced me that you can't do the job either.
Yeah. And that's the thing is you got to look, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of industries out there that are either female dominated or male dominated. It's just the way they are. It's the way they've been set up. And you go back years and just the way people applied or the jobs that were allowed to certain genders, whatever. It's the way it was. But now, because you've got women trying to, women breaking into male dominated fields, you hear a lot about, oh, well, I'm the only woman there. Well, it's for two reasons. One, probably at this point in time, still not a lot of women applied for that job. Two, because it's still a male dominated industry.
Sure.
You need to, if you want to make a difference, go in there, show your shit, and be like, you know what? I'm the shit. I know what I'm fucking doing, and I fucking belong here.
And I wouldn't be here.
But if you're gonna go in and you're gonna sit there and you're like, oh, this is a male. It's all males. I gotta do what they say. No, shut the no. You do you, boo boo. Go in there and show off. Like every other dude does. They go in there and guess what? I'm better. I'm showing up and I'm showing off. Let's fucking go, homie.
This is like the whole thing where they say with the job application, with job applications, job descriptions. If men, it can be 100 things that they want. If they know one of them, they'll apply for the job. Women have to have.
I talked about that last week. I don't even have to know.
I don't even look at the description.
I don't just fucking look at it. I look at the job description, see what the job is, and I'm like, yeah, fuck it. I want to apply to that one.
If I feel
I don't even look at the requirements. Fuck it.
If I feel like I know or have heard of 50% and can learn the other 50%, then I'll apply.
Fuck that. Just apply. If you like what the job says, just apply.
All they can say is,
you know what? I can do that job. I got you, homie. We're good. Apply for it. Don't even look at the requirements anymore. Requirements throw out the window. If they're having salary. Look at the salary.
Okay.
And look at the main job description.
Okay.
Requirements, fuck them.
Okay. I
Want
got
the
you.
job, throw it out there.
I got you. There will not
I'm
be
not saying apply for a million jobs all at once. I'm just saying be picky at the company. Like you got to look at these companies because some of these cultures you kind of look at and you're like, wait, I don't get my time off. I don't know if I want to work there.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's. I'm not trying to put myself in, in like
and that's the other thing is
a
we
labor
talked
mill,
about,
but
right. And me and Sharon Jenkins talked about this. A few weeks back. It was in the beginning of the year, I think, where I think the job market, especially when you're looking at minorities and women, you have two issues, right? So I don't foresee us fixing the application issue of having names, gender, race, all that bullshit on there. I don't think it should be on there, but fuck it. It's on there.
I honestly don't foresee it anytime soon being offered. That they say that when you put it on there, this part goes to this, and this is just for their statistic purposes. And I'm like, I don't know that I believe you, but all right.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
you can tell usually by someone's, not usually, but there are some people you can tell by their name where you're looking at it going,
my name gives me away. People think I'm an African man. So
right. Like so you look at these things and it's sad to see, but I honestly think that I could be naive, but I don't think in a lot of companies that's as big of an issue as people not actually applying. I think more people are pulling themselves out of the race these days
than would actually be a problem if they actually applied.
Correct. I could be naive. I could be wrong, but I do think that I'm seeing that more often than not. Like we just talked about with women. Women feel like they got to be like 80, 90, 100% qualified versus men that are just like, fuck you, homie, I'm applying.
Like, I don't think that's naive of you because you're not saying it's not a problem at all. It's not like you're saying, oh no, these people are making it up and they can get a job if they want. That's not what you're saying at all. But that would be hard to measure because if people are disqualifying themselves, they're taking themselves out of the game before they even get in it. Then that would be kind of difficult to measure. That's something to think about.
And I think we're blaming a lot on issues, which there are issues, don't get me wrong. But I think a lot of the blame is like, oh, I didn't get this job because of X reason, instead of, well, let's really look at what the job is. It's a senior X level. You've never entered the field.
Right. Then chances are it is probably because you've never done this before.
Exactly. Not because of the way you look.
Right.
And so I think that's part of it.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that you're putting yourself out there. You're like, you know what, fuck it, I belong here. This is me. I belong here and I'm gonna fucking make it. I don't care what you say, who you are. Guess what? Homie, you can get behind me because I'm first, bitch. I'm gonna make this shit. Bring all that attitude.
I can't wait till my mom sees this. She's gonna love you.
Shit. Everybody loves me. Until they get to know me. Then they get a little sketchy. They're like, he's a little fucked up.
This guy, he's kind of strange.
But I love seeing you here because, again, knowing your why, that whole, you had everything taken from you. And look, don't get me wrong. Just because you're getting into cybersecurity doesn't mean you're not going to get got.
No, I'm not stupid. I may get got again.
JJ Davey got on Discord, and he, my homie.
It was him that got by the L. It was the L versus the I. Was that him?
Somebody. I don't know. All I know is all of a sudden his name hit me up and was like, "Hey, join this porn Discord," and I was like,
"Oh no,
that ain't my boy." And so I got a hold of him on LinkedIn. I was like, "Yo, Jay, you might want to check this out." He goes, "Yeah."
No. I think that was him.
It was a bot. Some bot.
It's like, can you tell the difference between these two things? And one of them was an L and one of them was a 1 or something like. I think that was him. Oh, no.
Some bot caught him and he got his token taken, and it was some bullshit. But it wasn't his fault. Like, it wasn't him sending these messages out. And I know him well enough that when I got this invite to this Discord server, I was like,
this is not right. Yeah.
Hey, my boy, hold up. Yo, you might want to check your Discord, buddy.
Well, see, at least he had somebody to tell him that instead of just going to some stranger
so he
on the
figured
other
it
end.
out.
Like,
He killed his account, and but yeah, it was entertaining because he came out and he goes, "Hey, look, even some of the best of us, like, we go down."
Sure.
And I had it recently. My son, I was out. I think this was last week. I think I talked about it.
Yeah.
So I was out, and my son sends me a text, and he goes, "Hey, when you get home, I need you to check this out." And I was like, "All right," because me and him are always like, he's very cautious about the things he does because he knows what I do and he knows the dangers that are out there. Mm. I did not back read the Discord channel or chats enough, and we got. And it was his Steam account. It was partly his fault, mostly my fault, because I allowed him to do it while I was sitting there. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right. And as soon as it happened, and I knew what happened, and then I started fucking with the dude. I was like, you're a moron. I was like, oh, you're so cute. You're so cute. Oh, you think you're good. Immediately had my son put in a ticket with Steam and was like, hey, look, my account was compromised, da-da-da-da. He got it back in less than 24 hours. Like, they had everything. But I was like, you're so cute. Like, you really think you're going to pull something over on me. Like,
and see, nobody wants to hear that, especially somebody, who is, anybody who is going to be of the mentality to be messing around with, trying to mess with little kids like that doesn't want anybody coming in and saying, "Oh, aren't you cute?" Nobody wants
right. Like, he was trying to mess with my son. I'm like, "Oh, you're so cute." They
don't want to hear that's bad.
You're cool. Oh, you thought you were gonna get me. All right, let's have some fun now. And so I immediately contacted Steam. Was like, "Yo, look, hey, this is what's going on." Went out. They had it fixed. My son was like, "Am I gonna have?" I'm like, "Dude, you'll have your entire account back.
You're fine.
Don't even worry.
Right.
It'll be good." I had an email at like 2:00 in the morning one time. I just happened to wake up and look at my phone. And this was a while ago. It's probably about a year or two ago. And like Epic emailed me about one of my kids' accounts being breached. And I was like, all right, cool. Hey, Epic, this account was taken. Can you please get it back for me? Less than 24 hours later, I had the account back. Like, that's the thing, is with the exception, the hard part is social networks.
Yes.
So your Instagrams, my account was hacked. Bullshit that they set up doesn't work.
It does not work. I have
every time I put the information in, it takes me back to their help screen. And I know this because I help independent wrestlers and their families. And every time I've tried to use that fucking bullshit they implemented last year, it immediately takes me back to a help screen. And I'm like,
no, it doesn't. I have two Facebook accounts that I cannot get into. I've lost so many pictures that I can't get back. Pictures of people who passed on, all kinds of stuff that somebody got in there. Somebody hacked my account, got in there, changed my password, switched the security number to their phone number. And so when I tried to do anything, it's like, we don't even know who you are. So, and doing any kind of trying to restore or any of that stuff just does not work. It takes you in a big loop that goes nowhere.
Yep. So we're gonna touch back on that, but I have a question from Jerry, from your boy.
Okay.
Your boy here. Hey. Ask Mwanawa, as a new person in the cybersecurity world, was it worth the time, the money, the sacrifice, the hardship to start her journey in cybersecurity? I know your answer, but I'm gonna let you run with
it. Okay. It absolutely was. If you'd asked me at the time when we were going through, because we did boot camp, and if you'd asked me at the time, there were moments where we were just like, how we thought we were smart, and how did we get stupid that quick? I mean, there would really be times where like none of this makes any sense, and we were fools to think we could do it to begin with. But it was just that feeling of, we figured this out. We can really actually do this. So yeah, no, it was absolutely worth it. The hardship, I wonder what and I'm not sure what you mean by the hardship, Jay. What did we go through? what I'm not sure which hardship he's talking about. We weren't doing like wind sprints or what? Okay, I don't know what he means by that, but
we were doing wind sprints.
I'm not sure what he means. A sacrifice,
Could you,
it's time and sleep.
Could you do some wind sprints these days? Come on. I know I can't.
I've never been able to do wind sprints, so that's not.
My broke ass would be like, I get through the first one, I'm like, I'm done.
I don't run. I do not run. I'm not sure what he means, but by all in all, his question, yeah, it really is. And then one of the big perks that I didn't even really think about when I got into it is the people that I've met. I didn't realize, when you think about IT and you think about cybersecurity, or when a lot of people do, they think about, nerds sitting in front of computers, clackety, 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 not talking to anybody, nobody deal. I mean, to some extent, I don't know why you're looking like that, but
because I'm one of those, but I'm also a drinker. Hold up, wait.
But
I'll show you. Hold up, I'm gonna show you the hacker. Hold up, the hacker's here. Hold on. There we go.
Oh, see, I don't have on my hacker hoodie today. I had to take it off. I have a cybersecurity expert hoodie that my mom is like, please don't put that thing on again. Please don't put it on.
Oh, you need to wear it next time.
I'll wear it next time.
It was your first job.
It was bad dirty.
Back on, and you're wearing it.
I can do that. I have to wash it first because it was bad dirty. It would run off. It was bad. It was bad. It was really bad. But is the people that I've met, and there is a lot more. There's a social aspect to it that is kind of neat. I mean, like I said, I really didn't. People are a lot more opening and welcoming. My background, one of my backgrounds is in law, and people are not nice in law. People are something. They're a
lawyers are vindictive. Look. All right. I've wanted to go into cyber law. I've actually thought about it, but I refuse to go pay that much money to go get a JD and be able to do all the fucking lawyer bullshit. Yeah, but I would love to go into cyber law and help work on cyber crime and develop laws and work the courtroom and stuff. Yeah. But the problem is, one, I couldn't be a defendant, or I couldn't be a defense attorney for people that were guilty. And the other thing is, I couldn't prosecute the innocent. So I could never actually be a lawyer, because if I knew someone was innocent, no. Natalie got it. You're better off being an expert witness. You're right.
There you go. Okay.
I would probably be better off with that.
Because I have thought about that, and people have been trying to point me in the direction of GRC, just because I have a background in law, and I'm like, that might be something I don't know. That's not really what I want to do. So, but it seems like, a waste of a good part of a law degree, but at any rate,
I just think I would love it, because there's so much gray area within the cyber field right now, within the laws.
Right.
And so, like, my why would be bringing clarification to that, bringing the pedophiles and the child sex traffickers and all that to justice. Yes. It would be digging in on the dark net and making sure the guilty are found guilty, and all this shit is shut down.
Yes.
And then also finding a way to prosecute and or put laws behind cyberbullying. That
I'm so glad you said that, because that's another big part of my why. I don't even know how I left that out. Is and I haven't even really fully formed that, what I want to do, whatever the I don't know if I want to do awareness about it, or if I want to do policy change, or I don't know what I want to do. But the cyberbullying thing, it just rubs me wrong. I don't know anybody that it rubs right, but you know what I mean. It's just I have a particular tick about that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like, I have an issue with it because there's too much gray area, right? Like, even if you look at it these days, you take two teenagers that are under the age of 18.
Right.
Some, it's under the age of like 17 or 16 in some states. Whoever's parent finds the issue first can prosecute the other child. Did you know that?
I did not know that, nor does that make really any sense. But it's
No, it
about
doesn't.
finding the issue first, not okay. No, it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
That
But
seems very.
that's
seems
part
really
of the that's part of the fucked up part of the laws is like somebody's parent can say, "Oh, this kid said this and this, and had my daughter send all this to him, and he sent all this to her," and he gets put on a watch
sex
list,
offender list, and
list
that not necessarily have been how it went at all.
And it was both consensual.
Right.
They both were, whether it was in a relationship or not.
Right.
This stuff happens. It's been known to happen.
Right.
And so this
somebody's
is the
reputation
with the laws.
It's a mess. It's all a mess.
Like kids are kids. I'm not saying what they did was right or wrong. I'm just saying, like, it should not be whoever goes.
It shouldn't be whoever says something.
It should be
first.
If both kids sat there and said, "Yeah, it was consensual." But if mom and dad found out, the other kid's not going to admit that they wanted to do it.
Right.
So I think if they're both kids, it gets
real funny and real gray and real, and then it depends on levels of not who's older, but are you talking a year or are you talking 3 years? Are they 12 or are they 17? I mean, it's a whole lot of.
It gets
real.
That's why, like that, like for me, that would be my why. Would be getting into that area and being able to dissect those and really figure out a way to pinpoint a way to make it more clear. Like not just who comes to the table first, but it's what are the facts?
Who is actually if anybody has been wronged or victimized,
right?
How can we draw that out, and how can we remedy that?
Right.
Rather than just
cyber law would be important to me.
Who raises their hand first to say he did it? Now that doesn't help anybody.
No. And so that would be my big one. Like for the kids, that would be my big one, getting into cyber law. The bullying, the sexting, the everything else that goes on with kids and the revenge porn and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
like
all that stuff.
That would be my why to get into there. But unfortunately, like I said, you'd have to find a way to get into a law firm, and I can't afford the school. I got a wife and 5 kids. My broke ass can't afford that shit. So it would be like getting into a law firm that would be like, hey, yeah, we'll pay to send you to like learn some of these laws, but we need to put new laws in place. So you want to help us? Okay, I'm all about it. Let's go.
That sounds great. If you find one of those, call me so I can start the next
We'll
day.
Work together on that. Let's do
amazing.
But that would be mine, because for me, the kids are more important than anything else. And in this landscape we live in, like that is honestly as part of the why I still do this job is because of my kids, because I look at how I can teach them, what I can bring to them. And they're always, and it's funny, my oldest is like so afraid to do anything wrong. So afraid. Like at like 8, 9, 10 years old, he was telling me he wanted to be a hacker, and then all of a sudden he's like afraid to break any laws. And I'm just like, look, homie,
that's not gonna.
They're gonna come to me first, so don't worry, you're covered. I got you. Like, you want to break into like whatever you want, I got you. We'll just pin it on somebody else. It ain't no issue. He's like, Dad, it's illegal. I'm like,
we can't do it.
Don't worry about it. I got you covered. It'll be all right. I just wanted him to like learn how to make some money, and like he's so scared. I'm like, damn it, come on! You know some of the best hackers in the world broke into the NSA at 13 years old. You can do these shit. Let's go. Come on.
He's like, okay, Dad, I don't know about this.
Right? Like he ain't gonna do nothing wrong. That's why I don't worry about him. No. He's the type of, my oldest is the type of kid that like I could look through his phone. He get mad I'm looking through his phone solely because he's like, Dad, seriously, you know me. Like,
there's nothing in there to see. Yeah.
Like what are you gonna find? And I'm like, nothing, but I'm just being an asshole right now because I want to piss you off. Like literally I tell him that. Like I just want to make you mad.
Oh,
like let's go. I'm your dad. I can do this if I want. Like, if you really want me to, I could just watch everything on my computer, but I'm being nice enough to do this in front of you.
To at least give you the illusion of privacy.
Right? But I've told him that he knows that, like from the time he was young. I can see everything you do from my computer screen. So you better watch what you do. And so my kids get scared because I'm like, look, I'm telling you, if I want to, I can see what you're doing. And they're like, nah, you want to come find out? I'll show you.
Is it really worth it to try him up? Probably not.
Right. and the best part is, like, my kids' friends love me now because they know what I do. So they love me. Like, oh, you're my favorite dad. I'm like, damn straight, homie.
No, you're uber super cool dad. Everybody wants a hacker dad.
Right? I'm like,
Meanwhile, your kids are terrified and mortified. They're like, we can't.
Right? They're like, hold up, you're gonna follow my dad on YouTube? Fuck
oh,
yeah,
God.
they are. Let's go.
Oh God, mortifying. No, that's awful.
Dude, I drove my kids to school one time singing Moana back when I was in the Army. I literally, when that movie first came out, I put the windows down in my car and I sang at the top of my lungs.
Oh.
My son looked at me like, Dad, I'm gonna kill you. I'm like, yo, this song is hot. I don't want to hear it. You're welcome.
I feel for them.
Oh my dude, God. I had to. I
mean, it's hilarious now, but that sounds like a teenager's nightmare.
Thankfully, he was younger. Shit. When did Moana come out? Been a while.
I should know that, shouldn't I? 10.
They only call you that all the time.
It's been fairly recent. I don't pay any attention to that. I don't pay any. I mean, as long as I've been having to say I'm not the Disney princess, it's not more. It's been somewhere between 5 and 10 years, something like that.
Something like that. I just know it's been long enough. My son wasn't a teenager yet, so it was hilarious. He was just like, "Oh,
somebody."
Javier said 2016.
Okay.
So it's been
7 years,
4 or 5, 6 years. Oh shit, 7 years now. God damn, yeah.
Yeah, it's
23. Damn, I'm still doing my math as if it's 22.
No, this one, January January slid right by. I don't know what happened.
Dude.
I really don't. Like, it was Christmas and then it was yesterday. I don't know what happened.
So look, Mwanawa, we are after the top of the hour. This has been an amazing episode. I'm glad you've joined me here.
I'm glad to be here.
Hey, Javier, I retired in 2017, got medically retired. So just so you're aware, you retired the year before me. I do want to say, please give us your final words. And look, we're going to do this like walk with me. Give me your final words of wisdom for anybody else trying to break into the field and anybody actually just getting into the field. And fuck it, let's go beyond that. Anybody in the field, anybody in general,
anywhere,
anybody anywhere. Let's get some words of wisdom out there.
Okay. My advice would be: do not give up. I've had more people tell me that than at this point in time than about anything I've ever done. Do not give up. Keep pressing, keep pushing. When you feel like you want to quit, don't. Ask questions, ask a lot of questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question. And always be ready to learn something. I think those 3 things you'll go far. You can go far at a whole lot of things, not just cybersecurity, but you can go pretty far in life with those 3 things.
I love it. And you're not wrong, right? So don't give up is one of the big things I talk about, right? So everything I talk about, don't give up, never quit. Everything you want in life you can get as long as you believe in yourself. And so for me, believe in yourself. Believe in what you do. And look, if you got no one else that's in your corner that's telling you you can do it, fucking come call me. Get on the phone. Hit me up on Discord, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on whatever. Find a way. Email me. Homie, I got you. Like, it does not matter. I will be in your corner.
You've already warned me that I'm not allowed to quit.
Shit. Hell no, you ain't allowed to quit. You're already here now. You're stuck with me now, Moana.
Fair enough.
So look, I love you all. You're all amazing. Everybody that's been in chat, thank you. Natalie, Griffin, Infosec, Javier, Jerry, Andrea, Carrie, and so many others. Thank you for chiming in chat. You're all amazing. I love you all. Anybody watching, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And after this feed is over, anybody in the live chat, please come back and comment again. #FreyosDay. Freya's day. Fucking do it because I said so. Otherwise, look, hey, y'all take care. Y'all have a good one. Have a blessed weekend. And I will see you all next week for another amazing episode of Security Happy Hour.